everyone. Welcome to Star Studio and Rolling Out. And joining us today, having Lena B. Jackson, one of the dynamic forces behind Jonesing When Love is a Habit. Lena plays Mina Moore, a character whose emotional depth and presence helps anchor the film's powerful themes of love, healing, and identity. Director Sixx King has been vocal about how essential the supporting women are in this story. So, everyone, welcome, Lena, today. Hi, Lena. Thank you for joining
Hello.
us. Let's start with your role, Mina Moore. She adds a strong emotional dimension to this story. How did you first connect with her, and what drew you into this film?
Yes. So Mina was only on one page of the script starting off. Yes. She lived on one
Okay.
page only. And Sixx and I, we connected so much as people, and he loved my talent that she expanded on more pages and she became one of the best friends for Simone. And she
Oh,
ended up
wow.
being the protector and the bodyguard for Simone and the group. Funny enough, there's still a softness to her, and she's still very wise, and she has her comedic moments. So I was just able to bring a little bit of myself into this role, and all the things that I
Mm.
think of doing, but I don't do, I was able to put that into the role. So I was like, yeah, I can do this. And I fell in love with her as we kept collaborating and creating her and adding her to more scenes, and she
Mhm.
became a full force.
I love that. It just speaks to your talent.
Yes, I know. I'm like, cool.
So, you spoke of 16. He has emphasized how important the supporting women are in Jonesing. So, how
Yes.
did the sense of importance influence your approach to Mina and your performance? Even though I know it was like meant to be a one-page something,
Mhm.
but as it grew, how did that importance influence your approach?
It, you know, Simone, there's always going to be a romantic love in this life, but the
Yeah.
platonic love is forever. You can never, and I mean never, lose your friends. You can always have your friends. You go through so many heartbreaks within this life, and then you can always call your girls, and they're always there. And I
Mm-hmm.
remembered that while I took on this role, I remembered that. I thought, platonic love is always there, it never leaves. And so I recognized how important that was. And I just drew from that as I kept going, as we kept creating, as we kept collaborating. And it turned out so beautiful. And people get to see that within this film, how beautiful friendship is and how strong friendship is. And we all connected to each other outside of these roles. So it showed up on screen as well.
So, like I always say, my best friend is my true love.
Yes,
She has been there through thick and thin. So,
absolutely.
if I do
Absolutely,
believe
without
in
a
true love, it
doubt.
has to be my best friend.
It's so
So
true,
you said,
though. It's so true.
yeah, you said you connected outside of the room, outside of
Mhm.
the set. So tell us, what was the energy on set among you, the female cast, and what was it like to collaborate with Aria and
It was
Anita and other women?
Oh my gosh, it was so special because sometimes you meet people on different sets and it takes a while for you guys to click, but I feel like all three of us clicked immediately and
Mm,
we talked about just our own love lives and it was so quick. It's just like we felt comfortable with each other immediately. We started talking about our own love lives, family, how we got into acting. So it was all of this was just so genuine. It was all so genuine.
mhm.
And it just we got to transfer it over into the screen. It happened so quickly. And I don't think I've ever had that before. So it's like I can call them up right now and I'm like, hi, how are you doing? Are you great? It's so special. It feels so special to me. And I hold it special to like, to my heart. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I understand. So journaling is about emotional habits, self-worth, and healing. What aspects of those themes resonated most with you as you brought Mina to life?
I would say the one that resonated with me most was definitely being the comfort and protector of my friends. That's what I resonated most with Mina. My friends call me for anything. I'm taking the first flight out to go see them to help them with something. They ever need a piece of wisdom or to be reminded of who they are, how powerful they are, they know to call me. any moments of any sense of pessimism or just skepticism about life and about the wonderful things of this life, they can call me and they know I'm going to turn it right around. I'm the friend that's a heavy believer in transmutation. Whatever bad is happening, go ahead and transmute that into something great. And if you can't
Yeah.
transmute it into something great, go ahead and find a punching bag. I don't know, but you can get it out because life is just so wonderful and so beautiful. And I related to that most is just Mina's very quiet, but when she does speak, it's just complete wisdom coming out of her mouth. And I relate to that. I don't talk much, but when I do, it usually is something
Mm-hmm.
that stays with you. And that means the most to me.
No, I wish I had protector.
You need a
That's
protect. Listen, after this, you just hit me up. You get your protective friend.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Everyone needs a protector on their team. No
You
one should
do, you
mess with you.
do, you
No
do.
one.
So, did you and Six have any specific conversation about how Minasuri would impact viewers? What guidance did he give you to shape your her role and her
Mhm.
character?
What I loved about working with Sixx, it truly was a collaboration. What I loved about it. So he would give you certain guidance. Think of her again as that protector, but of course, add
Mm-hmm.
your softness into it. Don't make her so no one can get to her,
So,
no one can, no, so tough that there isn't a moment of softness or a moment where we see her heart and her vulnerability and her
yeah.
love for her friends. And that was the guidance of that. Like, yes, this is who she is, but let's add on your softness to this character. And it's going to be expanding upon these pages. So we're going to have those moments where Mina is very vulnerable and not maybe with her own heart, but vulnerable in the sense of how she listens to her friends and how she
Mm-hmm.
gives advice to her friends. So, that was the collaboration and the guidelines, and that's what we talked about. And it turned out amazing. It was amazing advice.
I'm sure it does. So, you have a creative background that includes makeup artistry and storytelling. How does your experience outside of acting help you build your character as Mina?
So outside of acting, I did 10 years of dance, and I will say movement plays a big part in acting. It
Mm,
plays and what I mean by that is how does this character walk? How do you want this character to walk? Because the way someone walks says a whole lot about them. How this character raises
okay.
their hand, how they shake people's hands, how they look at people, how they move ahead. It all gets the audience thinking like, oh, she's moving her head this way. I wonder what she's thinking. Or is she,
Mm,
moving her head this way to judge someone? So my years of dancing, and there's acting within dancing as well, because you're playing, sometimes you get the teachers that this is the story we're creating and we're going to create it through dance. So you bring acting to dance as well, and it all collides together. And so I brought a lot of my dancing experience into every role that I've had. I've brought it into it, and especially with this role, again, a role that is more protector like, but also
yeah.
hints of vulnerability. There are moments where my hands are very stern, but there's moments where my hands are like, "Oh, love, are you okay?" you know. And I got
Yeah.
to use that. I got to use my body all the way, and it was very freeing.
Yeah. So, there were some emotionally charged moments in this film. Is there anything that you're particularly proud of or that you found challenging as an actor?
Yes, there's a scene where when you cry on camera, it can be very difficult because you don't want to go too far with your thoughts that you can't bring yourself back. And with this scene in particular, I resonated with it a lot because I myself had just went through something similar earlier within the year. And
Mm-hmm.
crazy me thought about that, and I had enough time to prep before going into the scene. I thought about that, and then I decided to put on Michael Jackson's Gone Too Soon. So I'm
Ooh.
bawling. I'm in tears bawling before the scene. I'm like, Lord Jesus, Lena, what were you thinking? So I had moments where I'm like looking at different things just to keep me a little grounded so I don't
Yeah.
lose my head. And I'm just like, oh, this was bad. This was a great idea, but this was also a bad idea. And I just go into the scene, we get it done. But that one was, I will say, challenging. It was just very emotional. And I was like, I see how people, those stories of people that lose themselves because they go too far. I'm like, I see how that can happen, but I also see how you can bring yourself back. So I
Yeah.
got to experience that and deal with that. I won't say never again, but maybe I'll go about it differently.
Oh,
I'll go about it much differently.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. More
Important.
technique wise, use the technique that I taught in you learned in school. I'm like, you know what? I'll just go that route.
So, last question.
Yes, of
For
course.
viewers discovering you through this film, what do you hope for them to remember about Mina and about you as an artist?
So far, the people have been, been remembering again my movements. They've been
Hmm.
remembering that, which I love. But on top of that, I also want them to remember that friendship is love, it's loyalty, and it's also about being there and protecting your loved ones. I want them to remember that the most, because that's what I took away from it. Just that love, that loyalty, that care, the kindness, but also truly being there for your friends and protecting them when you can in any way that you can.
So, thanks for joining us. Well, how can people watch Jones in When Love Is a Habit, and how can they connect with you or reach you if they're looking for you on socials?
Yes. So Jonesing When Love is a Habit is in theaters June 13th, 2025. So go to your local
Hmm.
AMC theater, honey. That's how you're going to watch it. We're not going to be on streaming services anytime soon. So get into that
Oh,
theater. Okay? Get into that theater.
okay.
And to connect with me, first of all, follow at Jonesing Movie on Instagram. And then you can find all of our beautiful Instagrams through that. And you can watch our personal journeys as well as the movie's journey. And so that's how you do that.
That's lovely. So thank you very much, Lena, for joining us today
Thank
on Star
you.
Studio. Your performance on Josie and Love is a Habit is a part of this film's emotional heartbeats. We can't wait to see you. We can't wait to see more of you. We can't wait to see the audiences and how they experience you. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you
Thank
next time
you.
on Star Studio Rolling Out. All
Yes,
right.
thank you so much. Thanks for having me.